1 minute early. Thank you. So, welcome to the second week in a row that we're going to be splitting up the Wednesday show and doing a little bit of WWE away from Wednesday. Obviously, last night we talked about the Superstar Shakeup on the red side. Now we're going to talk about the Superstar Shakeup on the blue side. Welcome to another edition of the Smackdown and 205 Live podcast, exclusively here on the Popcast Network. My name is Owen. Joining me, as always, is Ashley.
Fucking Smackdown got a person that nearly tries to end people's careers.
Oh, my God.
Twice.
Yeah,
Twice.
I mean, okay, before we get into Smackdown, and I wanted to mention this last night, but when I actually found the information, it was kind of like, well, I mean, we're flowing on the show, and I didn't really want to bring the mood down, but I thought it'd be a good way to start the show tonight. So yesterday, we had another death in the wrestling world, and that would be Larry Wheel. A lot of people don't know that name because I'm using his real name, and that's the former, he's done so much in the wrestling industry, and that is Pretty Boy Larry Sharp. He's trained so many people in the Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. So this was opened in 1983 with Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. Sharp wrestled part-time until his 1991 retirement in the month of August. The big deal that he had, I don't know if you recall this, Ashley, but was when Bam Bam Bigelow first broke into wrestling. He was the first graduate of the Monster Factory, and that got a lot of coverage in the aftermaths back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen to. There's a cornucopia of people that he's trained. Like he trained the Monster Factory have included Tony Atlas, Big Show, D'Lo Brown, Chris Candido, Cliff Compton, Sanjay Dutt, Giant Silva, Barry Hardy, Chris Harris, the Headbangers, Balls Mahoney, King Kong Bundy, Ray Odyssey, Raven, the Pitbulls, Rocco Rock, Tony Ricca, Sheamus, JT Southern, Tony Stetson, Tatanka, Tank Toland, Virgil, and The Godfather. Now, for his wrestling career, Larry Sharp is a one-time Hawaii heavyweight champion. He's held the North American Wrestling Federation heavyweight title and the Northeast Championship Wrestling heavyweight title, and also the tag team titles as well. Stampede, he was an international tag champion with Ripper Collins, and he was a North American tag team champion in World Wrestling Council with Jack Evans. Not that Jack Evans, I don't think. But actually, it might be, because if you look into it, it sounds like it was that Jack Evans. How random is that, Ashley?
It is pretty random, I will admit that.
Yeah, it says that did take place. The North American Tag Team Championship. So there's not really much else I can say. I did want to bring it up, though.
Definitely.
No, it wasn't that Jack Evans, obviously. This was way before that Jack Evans was even born. Yeah, they were the original Hollywood Blondes of Jack Evans and Larry Sharp. This was in 1978, actually, when they were tag team champions, defeating Chief Thundercloud and Carlos Colon.
Yeah, if it was that Jack Evans, I think he'd be minus 12.
Yes. Welcome, Dr. Aiden Quinn, to chat. Don't know exactly who's going to be joining us in chat tonight, to be totally honest. Guess we'll find out later. Yeah, we here always want to make a reference to the superstars that pass away in the wrestling business, and apparently it was liver disease is what took the life of Larry Sharp. Trained by Mr. Fuji, Nikolai Volkov, and Gorilla Monsoon, debuted back in 1974 Did not have a very long career, but had a definite impact on a lot of people coming up in the wrestling business. So yeah, just wanted to start off the show by saying rest in peace, pretty boy Larry Sharp.
Definitely.
Basically, what we're going to do tonight is we did this with Raw, and there's a lot of very interesting jumps that happened, a lot of things that were expected, a lot of things that necessarily weren't expected. And another thing that wasn't expected is something that happened on Raw last night. So let's talk about Jinder Mahal real quick. So apparently Jinder Mahal, he tied up Finn Balor in the ropes, booted him in the face, hit a straight punch, but that probably didn't do any favors. But there is a part in the match where he sends him into the ropes, and he comes off, and he decks Balor with the point of his elbow as hard as humanly possible in the side of the head. And Balor doesn't sell down, he crumples. And it was official. And of course, kudos to Balor for continuing the match and finishing it off, obviously, with the sling blade, the coup de grace. Well, the sling blade shotgun dropkick and the coup de grace. But it was announced tonight during SmackDown. At least I saw it on Twitter. It might have been earlier today, but I did not see it until just now, that Finn Balor has a concussion now. So yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all.
WWE watching.
Yeah, WWE has not acknowledged this yet, so we don't know the severity of everything. But we do know that there is something going on.
They won't want to, because then Daniel Bryan will be going, "Why doesn't he sign a hold harmless agreement? Then he can wrestle."
That's right.
By the way, there was an interesting bit of news that came out today.
Okay.
To be honest, it's too long-winded to really go through tomorrow. Thanks to some sort of legal thing regarding merchandise bootleggers at WWE shows.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get the right description for it. There was a lawsuit that was unsealed.
Really?
Regarding, yeah, I guess WWE is going after some of these unofficial bootleggers. So we have a basic gist of the entire plans for Raw and SmackDown till Mania next year.
Okay.
It's worth noting the shows before New Orleans, by the looks of it, are going to be Raw in Brooklyn and irony of ironies, especially after tonight, SmackDown will be in Boston before Mania.
Wow. Very interesting.
And by the looks of it, Raw may be live, possibly, on Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
Because they're tentatively scheduled as a show in St. Louis on Christmas Day. And then the Boxing Day, the 26th of December, there's a show in Chicago and the Madison Square Garden show. So that, to me, implies SmackDown, Raw might actually be live on Christmas.
That's,
I guess if it's good enough for the NBA, I guess. Who knows? Interesting. You got the UK shows.
That's crazy.
There's various. They're going to Boston in December, so I'm guessing that's a December pay-per-view. Because Allentown, Pennsylvania isn't a big enough venue.
No.
They're going to Peru in the end of November. There's the Survivor Series stuff. The UK tapings are going to be in Manchester in November by the looks of it. Various other shows in the UK, obviously, in the build-up to Survivor Series. They're going to Chile for a couple of days. Argentina. Christ. It's hard to tell, you see, which are going to be pay-per-views and which aren't, because we don't have a basic gist of how many weeks it is between Raw and SmackDown shows and everything.
Well, the thing that I want to ask you is, we weren't given a return date at the Amway Center after Raw or SmackDown, so I was wondering when the next time WWE is going to be coming this way.
Let me have a quick look. That's all the stuff that happened this week. Or last week, I should say. That's NXT. It says Englewood Neighborhood Center, but that clearly is NXT house show, isn't it, for April?
Actually.
Especially because it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Full sales listed for the 25th of May.
Yep, I'd buy that.
So they're doing a show. Oh no, they're doing the show then, because then Enzo and Cass can be at Volcano shit or whatever the fuck it is.
Volcano Bay.
As it currently stands, there is no listing for any WWE stuff in Orlando.
Interesting.
For the next, apart from the NXT stuff.
Very interesting.
That could all change though, depending on, you know, venues and everything.
Sure it will. All right. So let's get down to this, shall we? We talked about this on Raw, and we look at the shakeup, and a lot of interesting things happen, and a lot of things that don't really make much sense happen. It just depends on how you look at it. In reality, we're still waiting for whomever the U.S. champion is after Payback. But SmackDown got Sami Zayn, finally. Byron Saxton on commentary, great.
Kevin Owens.
I'm not calling Owens yet because
well, they introduced Owens as part of the SmackDown roster. I think the idea from what Daniel said, but he didn't word it properly, which was quite a problem a few times tonight and over the week. I think what they're saying is if Jericho wins, he comes to SmackDown as well.
No, I think if Jericho wins, he's going to come to SmackDown instead. That's the way that they were wording it. Right now, to me, it sounds like Kevin Owens is a free agent.
If you take Kevin Owens and put him back on Raw, SmackDown loses a lot of momentum, especially when you take into account that Jericho's disappearing.
I mean, it could go either way, but we don't have clarification yet. So until we have complete clarification from WWE, I think that we can just say that's a up in the air situation.
I think we can say Kevin Owens is on a short-term loan deal.
We'll go with that for the time being.
Short-term loan. So technically he is SmackDown. Because from the way it was presented, it was like he's on SmackDown.
But if he loses to Jericho, I think he stays on Raw.
I don't think they do that. Because then Jericho disappears for a month and a half.
Yeah, and we've already got the Universal Champion.
And then the roster becomes way more disjointed.
They didn't really specify, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
We have...
Well, to me, they did, because he showed up. Because if Dean drops the belt to Baron Corbin, what happens then? Does Baron go to Raw?
No. They put the title back up.
I think that's somehow going to get set up. That's somehow going to get set up. We're going to have an inter-brand rivalry at Payback. Because we didn't get it at WrestleMania.
I don't want that to happen. So, Jinder Mahal, Primo and Epico, Tamina, okay, Charlotte,
Technically.
Sin Cara, Rusev, Lana. Not necessarily a package deal anymore. Lana's vignette came off more like a good old Fandango past.
True, but I think technically they'd have to be a thing because of, the, thing on their fingers.
I don't know if they may not have them work together on the brand.
I think if people are married, you can't split them up. That's why Naomi got lucky with the Usos. Everybody else is just in relationships. If you're married, it's like too fucking bad. Yeah. If Dean wanted to stay on SmackDown, he should have put a ring on Renee.
Now, the thing about Rusev, though, I mean, they promoted Rusev. They didn't promote Lana with Rusev. They promoted Lana by herself. And she didn't have her hair up or anything like that. She was looking more like CJ than Lana. So my guess is, number one, Lana's going to be what Emelina should have been. And she could
Well, no, the most important thing is Lana's going to start wrestling by the looks of it.
Exactly.
That's the most important thing. She ain't just going to be Rusev's manager. She's actually going to get a chance to, actually use all the training that she's done half and do something with it.
And the final people going to SmackDown, no surprise, the New Day. So that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to the show, shall we?
Yes. The show opens with Kevin, which at first I had to work out, was it actually Kevin? Because he's got a fucking suit and tie on. He's clean shaven. So I'm getting distracted by him on Talking Smack. I gave in. It's on mute, so I don't even know what's being said. But yeah, welcomes everybody to the brand new Kevin Owens show. SmackDown got a giant upgrade with him, and he's brought the US title with him. And you think some people might be confused that it's a US title, but it's currently in the hands of a man from Montreal. But people shouldn't worry. It's in safe hands because we all know that Canadians are way better than Americans. Specifically noting how his Montreal Canadiens have beaten the Boston Bruins all the time in the ice hockey. And then he goes ahead and speaks a little bit of French and says, "Oh, for you ignorant fans that don't know what I said, if you've got a problem with me, then let's fight. I'm only here on SmackDown, not for the fans, not for the GM, not for Shane, not for the talent, but for myself alone. And I am going to be the new face of America." I'd vote for him as president, even though I can't vote. So then Baron Corbin shows up and says, "Look, I know you could beat up all these fans here, and probably most of the locker room, but I don't think you'd be able to beat me. I beat Ambrose so hard last week, he went and ran off to Raw. The only reason you're here is you're running away from Jericho. Now, if we think about it from what happened last night, I beat Ambrose last week. Ambrose beat you last night. So by that logic, I can probably beat you. And I'm due a title rematch. But considering the belt's on the other brand, and you're the only champ that I can see here, I think it's only fair that my shot comes for your belt." Kevin says, no, that ain't how it works. Until you beat me, you don't get any sort of shot at my belt. Cue Sami Zayn. And Kevin's just like, "What? No, you can't be here. You cannot be here." And Sammy says, I can because I'm on SmackDown. And Baron says, look, no one cares about you. Cue AJ's music. Styles comes to the ring and says, look, it's not the Kevin Owens show. It's SmackDown Live. And it's not about you, Kevin. It's not, and with respect, it's not about you, Sammy. And it definitely ain't about you, Baron. It's about me. This is the house that AJ Styles built. And you know what? I'm still here, guys. So then Brian comes out and says, look, Owens versus Jericho is happening at Payback. We can't change anything about that. Which means that whoever wins it will be on SmackDown. I will admit that's what he said, but I think that just seems a bit stupid that Kevin just gets cast out, and they're clearly establishing, even just from the body language, that Kevin is on SmackDown now. It's sort of pretty epic. Why is there a fucking shoe there?
I mean, I think
why is Kevin got? Why is there a random fucking shoe? Is Kevin's shoe?
I think it's being.
He took his shoes off so he'd be comfortable on the fucking set. What?
I think it's being confirmed on Talking Smack that he is on SmackDown now. So there's no.
Yeah. Basically, the stipulation is if Jericho does manage to get the belt back, he'll be on SmackDown as well. I've just realized, though, that means more Kevin and Renee stuff. Like, oh, that'll be good. That's Canada right there. Talking Smack goes off the air with Kevin Owens finishing. Yes.
Okay. Time to focus.
So, yeah, because the title won't be up for grabs until after Payback, the idea is they want that title to be up for grabs on SmackDown as soon as possible. So, tonight we're having a number one contendership match between Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and AJ Styles. Whoever wins that will face the winner of Owens or Jericho after Payback. I think the implication probably is the SmackDown after Payback.
Probably.
Because I don't think they'd really want to build it to... they don't want to build it straight to the pay-per-view, given that that'll be another 3 weeks away. AJ is now going to be in limbo for... If that's the case, AJ's in limbo for 6 weeks, I think.
Sounds right.
Yeah, because it's 7, 14, 21. Yeah. So pretty good opening, I will say.
Well, yeah.
Mainly because, even Corbin, it's like there's 4 guys that deserve a push at the title. I don't mean the US title.
Yeah, I like
when we
this.
get into our first match. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, give your thoughts on the thing.
I like this. I like this a lot, actually. Corbin has been showing a lot more fire lately. So it makes sense that he's the guy that they want to push. And I really I was hoping that he was going to take the title off Ambrose at Mania, because Ambrose needs to get away from a title picture for a while. I just like this. I like how they're pushing, like, subtly pushing Sami Zayn, which is how life should be. I mean, the way I see AJ Styles being in the US title picture makes me think that they're trying to elevate the championship again. They're trying to bring it back to Cena levels again. That's the reason why I think that they do something like this. Because, all right, AJ and Orton should be the next program, and it sounds like it's going to be once we get everything finished up with Bray.
Mm-hmm.
But you set up a lot of interesting situations here, but we'll have to get to that a little bit later. Owens shaved? No more ginormous beard?
At least for this week.
looking svelte in a suit. That was
The
nice.
beard has to fucking come back, otherwise hashtag not my Kevin.
He looks more like Mr. Wrestling than Kevin Owens. I will state right now that it was nice that Kevin put up the picture on Twitter of him and Owen at the Tomorrowland Speedway with Owens wearing a blue shirt. How awesome of Kevin to do that.
He told us all along, motherfuckers.
So good. So great.
God damn it.
And we get our first match. Somewhat, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Rowan versus Randy Seaman.
Yeah, it's funny because Orton actually went off on this on Twitter over the weekends, basically bringing up what has been said numerous times, that the entrance ramp at Mania, it wasn't a snake, it looked like a sperm.
Yeah.
Welcome, Pinhead Larry. He asked if Nakamura has top teeth.
You fucking lose your rag, Randy. You know, it's only fair. You know, everybody isn't interested in your matches now. They're more interested in the cum stain that's on your fucking walk to the bloody ring.
Yeah, that's probably why I wasn't usually that's something that would be startling, but it didn't look like a snake at all. I didn't even know that's what it was, given my vantage point in the building. So, Ashley, can you answer this? Does Nakamura have top teeth?
Yeah, it's just
the mouth guard.
The way he wrestles is he wrestles with the mouth guard in.
Okay.
No different to Kylo fucking Riley.
Yeah. We'll talk about him on Wednesday.
I cannot now wait to talk about tomorrow now.
We're talking
God
about
damn it, Plumpy. God damn it, Plumpy.
WCPW's Canadian branch of the World Cup tournament is going to be discussed tomorrow. So yeah, we'll discuss that tomorrow. Now, this match was short, straight and to the point. Not much to it at all. Eric Rowan seems like he's a man without a country right now because no more Wyatt family, no more anything. Orton basically works a normal
range. Without a country, he's not country strong.
That's only Braun. The thing is, I saw you on Tender, Braun. You can't hide it. Back in. Basically, Orton hits the snakebite DDT, and then Bray comes on the Tron for a distraction to set up the House of Horrors match. And this leads to Eric Rowan nailing him with the ring steps and the DQ. Rowan hits the full Nelson bomb, and that's it. Orton wins via disqualification.
Yeah.
Nothing to this match at all.
Well, what came afterwards was the interesting bit to me.
That's it. No, the only thing involved this match would be the stuff involving Bray.
Yes, but it's what came afterwards that interested me. Because remember, if you wind your way back to last week, Bray said, I'll get my rematch eventually, but before all that, I need to take you somewhere where you need to suffer, be in pain, because I challenge you to a House of Horrors match.
Right.
He specifically said he'll wait for his title shot. First, he just wants revenge and wants the stipulation match. Now, all of a sudden, that stipulation match is for the title.
Right.
No pressure, just, asylum match. Don't know whether I need to say it again.
I mean, there's a survey going around
Ugh.
right now, and on WWE, like their surveys that they have, the one that I never was able to sign up for, their fan surveys, and basically they asked, "What would you like to see in a House of Horrors match?" So that exists right now.
Right. What was on it?
Just a bunch of gimmicks. Like even talking about projections on the ring was even an option at one point.
Oh no.
So we may be going down that rabbit hole again.
God almighty. Let's hope not.
See.
So, yeah, the Usos are in the ring, and American Alpha get an entrance. Because that's how things work, isn't it?
Yeah. The champions get a jobber entrance. Gotta love that.
Jeez.
This match was good though. Really good.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. It's like, you get a jobber entrance, you get a jobber entrance, you all get jobber entrances, and it's like, oh wait, this match was actually decent.
They work Jordan over. Oos hits the post. Hot tag. Chad Gable comes in, and he hits locomotion German suplexes, multiple exploders for both Usos. Hits a picture perfect moonsault for a near fall. So he has the armbar, the cross arm breaker, and the ropes. Eats the super kick, and Samoan splash, knees up. Gable hooks the leg, 1-2, kick out. Jordan comes in. They hit the Steiner Bulldog. Jay saves the last minute. Usos go for the Samoan suicide dive. They get caught. Overhead release belly to bellies on the floor. And then Usos back in the ring. Blind tag, super kick, Samoan splash. Usos retain. They gave it about 9 minutes. Really good back and forth match. It's a damn shame American Alpha have not been taken to by the WWE universe. It seems like obviously they buy into when we get the hot tag, when we get the Jason Jordan hot tag. This time it was Chad Gable. But the hot tag they buy into every time. But they really haven't treated them like anything more than just an afterthought lately, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
And the Usos showed more fire in this match than I've seen them show in months.
At this rate, can we actually call them because they seemingly have obviously the moves of the Jacksons.
Yeah.
And the attire of the other Bullet Club tag team.
Yeah.
So does that mean we can actually call them the Young Fox?
You can, but I can't say that. You certainly can. I'm not allowed to say that here on live air here.
But yeah.
But yeah, this match was awesome. But then after the match was over, Primo and Epico hit the ring in jeans and laid out American Alpha with the force of nature. The good old fashioned finisher of the Wolves, the powerbomb lung blower combination.
Keep everybody in the arena going, ooh, the fuck are these cunts?
They weren't dressed like the travel agents. They weren't wearing gear or anything. Like if they made them the Cologne boys or just the Colognes and just rolled with that and let them get over on their wrestling abilities instead of a stupid gimmick that never worked in the first place, I'm okay with this. Very much so.
Yeah, but they will do.
Oh, I'm sure they're just going to be the shining stars. But I mean, obviously, if they drop the gimmick and just let them be Primo and Epico, I think it'd be better for everybody.
Well, obviously, but they won't.
Yeah, I know.
Because all we need is JBL to buy a timeshare, and then we actually properly sue him.
Oh, I think suing is the least of his worries right now. Extremely loud Fire Bradshaw chant that was ringing in the crowd. And the guy that got escorted out of the building for a yellow sign that said JBL bullied me and got the biggest ovation of the night.
They actually are trying to cover it up.
That's what it looks like.
I just hope the mainstream media actually tries and runs with this.
I mean, I don't care about ESPN, obviously, because I don't watch sports, but ESPN dropping coverage.
I think ESPN, the reason why ESPN doesn't want to cover it is because they can't fucking afford to. The financial straits that they're in, it's like they're probably going to lose all the rights to all the sports that they have soon because they can't afford to keep them because they're running out of money.
Makes sense.
All these other networks and streaming services, and obviously their own services like the NFL Network and all that. The more and more television is going out of fashion, and that people just want, on-demand stuff or like stuff on their mobile. Something like ESPN, if they don't provide an adequate enough online service, which I guess for some people it mustn't be, there clearly is an issue that needs to be solved.
It just makes me think that regardless how much they're trying to push this under the carpet, and clearly they are, I really think that something is going to make them force their hand. It's going to be exactly what happened to Bill DeMott.
Probably.
I honestly can't see JBL surviving the summer, to be honest, if it even gets that far.
We can hope.
Indeed. Noticing, if you haven't heard, he's been blocking people on Twitter that have been tweeting positive messages about Morrow.
Hang on, let me check.
Don't be a bully, be a star.
Well, that's double standards because that's WWE, so of course they're not going to talk about it.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's that.
Does JBL even have a fucking Twitter?
JC Layfield.
That's interesting. You search JBL and it doesn't even come up in the searches. Are they?
JC Layfield on Twitter.
He hasn't even fucking tweeted anything in 2 days.
There's probably a good reason for that. They probably put him on Twitter probation. And I'm
not blocked yet.
I'm not blocked either, but I know someone that is.
Because yeah, but he was tweeted before all this.
All right.
Yeah. Does that mean Mr. Entertainment is on the same level as Monsieur Dave?
Yeah, exactly. And also,
fuck.
He's blocked. Aaron also was blocked by Xavier Woods too.
Wow, that's. Aaron should have known better.
Yeah, this is Aaron's tweet.
Should have known better.
Catch this cream at Xavier Woods PhD. Ask Paige to do that. Hashtag Raw. Hashtag Raw Aftermania. Hashtag Raw Orlando.
You fucking cunt.
Jesus, Aaron, why? If I had a
But
dollar for
Alberto's
every,
doing that. Alberto's fucking up his soon-to-be wife's career enough. Don't need any more fuel to the fire, thank you.
I do like the picture that was posted from Alberto and Paige today that made me laugh.
I haven't seen it.
They're holding AJ's new book, and in the background there is a Donald Trump calendar.
See that? What?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
They do realize that if Trump gets his way, both will be deported to their own countries, even though they're married to each other.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's not.
I have no idea.
Know, Alberto wronged his best buddy Vince, so ulterior motives. Hurdy-gurdy.
This leads. Speaking of that, let's lead to Mr. I Hurt People versus Mr. Needs to join Mr. I Hurt People on the unemployment line.
Oh, fuck. It's Mojo versus Jinder with added Gronk.
I swear to you, even with gender hurting people, legit, I honestly think we're leading to Gronk against Jinder at an event somewhere.
No, it'll be Jinder versus Peter Rosenberg.
They're building this up.
Then we can have Dolph Ziggler going, I'm sorry, who are you?
I don't care about this at all. This leads to Gronk getting involved again. He spills a beer, and this is a distraction. Mojo hits the running punch and gets the win. That's it. There's nothing needed to be talked about. Who cares?
Wow.
I just don't care. I don't care. Nothing's gonna get me. It's gonna sell me on Mojo.
I know, man, but you don't have to be so fucking brutal about
it. I called the match. I said exactly what happened. I said I don't care. I said we're leading to Gronk against Jinder Mahal, and I think that might be the direction we're going, honestly.
It's fucking evil, everybody, Owen.
And then Jinder's going to hurt Gronk, and then he's going to get really sued.
And the NFL are going, excuse me, fucking lawsuit, WWE!
For anybody that is interested, they're going to have this big sort of a press conference with every team in the NFL, and they'll be like, if anybody was thinking about working for the WWE in any sort of fashion, other than just being a fan or being on television, you are no longer allowed to do so.
Nope. Yep. Nope. He's like,
this isn't WWE news. This is something that just came across my Twitter feed. Congratulations! With 53% of the vote, the MVP of More Than Mania weekend, courtesy of Flow Slam, of course, is Keith Lee. Come on.
I think that's unfair. Hell, Joey Janela actually put on a fucking event.
This is correct.
What did Keith Lee do? He just wrestled.
He had some extremely solid wrestling matches. That's what he did.
Well, true.
And Joey Janela's next opponent is actually going to be Matt Tremont for CZW.
Yep.
That also came across my feed this morning, and we'll talk about that on Wednesday.
Yep.
So this leads to Shane McMahon and the state of the women's division.
Yeah. So Shane comes out. Thanks everybody for making SmackDown the land of opportunities. And says that is epitomized clearly by the SmackDown Women's Division. I'm going. So this is a division that's existed for 6 months and has only had 3 champions. That's opportunities. That apparently is opportunities. Okay. So he invites everybody to come out. So first is Naomi, the current champ. Wob wob. Then Natalia. Then Carmella and Ellsworth. And then Becky Lynch. And Shane congratulates Naomi. And Ellsworth says, "Whoa, nobody know me. You know, the true queen here is Carmella. You know, can we was it Carmel's worth or something?"
Yeah, Carmel's worth.
And Naomi just says, "Shut your mouth." So then it's time to introduce the new members. So first of all, it's a big one.
This is great. This was an amazing troll from Shane McMahon. Whoever wrote this, just brilliant.
It's a former women's champion. With a very famous father.
They don't want to talk about
famous, in fact, that he's in the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, the daughter of an accused rapist, Tamina Snuka.
Notice the Snuka has been dropped off her name.
Yes. As soon as they said the line, daughter to a Hall of Famer and everything, I was going, that's the closest we're going to get to mentioning Jimmy Snuka, isn't it? Because part of me in my head was going, this is going to be a swerve. But I was trying to think who else there was. I thought Layla for a minute, Hell, well, no, I guess Michelle McCall's dad is actually her husband.
Hey, don't forget, they did say second generation wrestler first.
Did they?
They did.
I didn't put that in my notes, but either way. So Tamina comes out, and then it says, and now the most important acquisition that SmackDown has got. And everybody in the crowd, because we're in Boston, is like, they want the boss.
Yes.
Charlotte Flair! And Charlotte comes on the stage with a jacket. And that's it. Like, fuck the women's division. You want to see wrestling for the women? Fuck off. The most important thing about this, though, is that means we can actually have the Bayley versus Sasha thing.
This is true.
The thing that everybody wants to see because of how good it was on NXT.
And the rightful heel turn to bring Sasha back to where she belongs.
Except, Nia.
Yeah, don't remind me.
I'm guessing what will happen at Payback is somehow, Sasha's going to be at ringside and whatever. And help in some shape or form Bayley win again. And then the next night, Bayley can be like, look, I'm not happy with you helping me. I can do it by myself. And then you do the heel turn. Or you actually do it on the night, with, Bayley Bailey celebrating, and then Sasha attacks her, and then the explanation comes on Raw. What was he?
It's possible. Because it doesn't make sense for her to cost her the title, because obviously this is all about the championship. So we move on to a gimmick that I really enjoy, which I'm glad is back. The artiste has returned.
Yeah, he's in the... Well, my tag team partner's gone, which means the spotlight is solely on me. It's like, yes!
Get rid of that
Yes!
ugly beard, and then I'll be very happy with you, Aiden English, because I've been promoting you since day one on NXT.
Yeah, get Kevin Owens' Dollar Shave Club stuff.
Yes.
He's singing and tag. So next up on NXT, it's Aiden English versus Ty Dillinger.
I called this last night. I totally said this was going to happen.
Well, we know Kofi was listening last night, so maybe was some of creative.
Wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, this match is short, straight and to the point. Decent stuff. Yeah. Again, decent stuff here. Ty ends up hitting the tiebreaker and gets the win. They gave it 2.5 minutes. Not much to it. But hopefully we're going to see something from Aiden English, because it sounds like he's going to be getting a modicum of a push somewhere down the line, given the fact that Simon Gotch done the party and bombed out. So now we move on to Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, Dolph's out and saying, look, I'm here to stay. And, I'm the one that's made this show. And, sure, there's going to be a lot of excitement and everything over the next few, over tonight, certainly, with the Superstar shake-up and all that. But next week, your excitement will have died down. And then it will have died down again. And then again. And then the only one you'll be interested in, the only one that you'll yearn for, is me. Like, I beg to say no. I beg to say no to you, Monsieur Monsieur Dolph, but no. And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because Nakamura version of his entrance bows to him. And Dolph goes, who do you think you are? Also, who are you? Look, I understand you're interrupted because you're new here and everything. I'm Dolph Ziggler. But I really don't know who you are. And all throughout this entire promo, fans are all over Nakamura. So I guess people may have watched NXT. Because they seem to be reacting the right way. I don't know. So now I'm just having to adjust something. Shinsuke says, you want to know who I am? Obviously does it slowly because people wouldn't make him out, because He's still learning English, but he's getting better at it, certainly.
Oh, yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura. And Dolph's just like, okay, man, whatever. Goes to walk away. Goes for the super kick. Nakamura catches it. Throws him away towards the outside of the ring, and Dolph rolls out. Nakamura's like, come on, let's fight. And Ziggler's just like, nope. And Nakamura celebrates. So they basically rehashed the off-camera stuff from last week.
Yep.
And then rehashed the match after 205 Live. Like last week. Apparently.
Yeah, according to Twitter, it sounds like the live crowd in Boston got Nakamura and Ziggler after the 205 Live tapings.
Then we get the New Day coming to SmackDown video package, which was actually pretty good. Throughout the night, we have video packages on AJ and Baron and Sammy. TJ's cutting a heel promo, hyping 205 Live, and into our main event. Worth noting, we actually did have 5 matches tonight, which is way more than usual. So that's pleasantly surprising.
For 2 hours?
Absolutely. So yeah, it's the number 1 contendership match with Zayn, Corbin, and AJ.
Excellent stuff here. Corbin really proved that he's come a long way in a very short amount of time. Great stuff here. So Corbin ends up getting dumped on his head with an exploder from Sammy. AJ cuts off the haluva kick, Yushigarashi, and Corbin with a lariat, Stan Hansen style, to AJ. So Corbin is working Sammy over. AJ hits a sliding knee strike on the ring apron. And I know he was going for a superplex. And the announcers put over like they were going for a superplex. But there was that little thought in my mind, what if? But obviously not. So that was countered. Interestingly enough, Sammy hits the Blue Thunder for a near fall. Corbin picks up Sammy on the shoulders, and AJ dives off. It's ducked. Sammy with a victory roll for a near fall. Deep 6 connects. AJ breaks up the pin. And then AJ ends up focusing on a mistake from Corbin as he accidentally posts himself and springboard 450. Sammy saves the last minute. And AJ with huge running clotheslines in the corner to both his opponents. But Corbin ends up catching him, and Sammy ends up booting him. And, of course, that leads to the Pele. Sets up the Styles Clash. Sammy fights out of it. Corbin gets Yakuza kick to the outside, and this allows AJ to hit the springboard forearm on Sammy to get the clean win. So AJ Styles on the SmackDown after Payback will be battling whomever is the United States champion. Whether it's Kevin Owens or AJ gets his win back from Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, I approve. Greatly approve. Solid show. I can't tell exactly if we're going to be getting anybody else coming in. I know, obviously, Elias Sampson was quite literally drifting back and forth on Raw. He did not show up on SmackDown to drift there, so I have a feeling he's probably staying on Raw, and that was the rumor anyway. A lot of people are thinking Shelton Benjamin may end up on SmackDown or end up finally back on SmackDown. I guess we'll see. Honestly. I mean, if you look at the shakeup, the New Day are going to basically, they're going to flourish on SmackDown, working with a lot of new teams. Rusev will do fine on SmackDown. Lana, if like I said, if they're able to make her like the new Emelina, but let her work.
I'm guessing they must have filmed that like in the afternoon, one of the weeks.
I'm sure of it. Probably when she was down here.
It was a video package. It was a video package, but it was done on the stage as if it was like out there sort of thing.
Right. Sin Cara is not going to matter at all. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets pink slips before the year's over. Charlotte will do quite well as the top heel on SmackDown in the women's division.
Well, hold on. Is it Sin Cara?
Right now it is, yes.
Because I've just got a sneaky feeling Sin Cara is going to be on soon. But it isn't going to be Hunico under the mask.
I don't know about that. I think that's a mistake. Especially because I know what you're going to say, and I think that's a waste of Cien Almas.
That's what I honestly feel. If he doesn't feel comfortable being himself, how he was in CMLL under the mask.
It's possible, but I mean,
Hell,
he's
might
going to
get
look
the
different.
character of Sin Cara over.
Yeah, but he's good on his own.
Yeah, but Hunico was good on his own.
To an extent, yes.
Hunico was good on his own, and they let him be Sin Cara, so I think because Hunico didn't have a great reputation over in Mexico.
Not really.
Whereas, I can't remember what he was called. I can't even remember his fucking name that he was under in CMLL. It's been that long now.
Well, he was Incognito. He was Mystico.
Yeah, but it was something else.
He was Mystico. He was Mystico de Juarez. And he was Jorge Arias.
Yeah.
Which is his shoot name, so. Yeah, but that's gonna be pretty well, I guess we'll see. Because the Sin Cara character, when it comes down to it, they put a lot of stock into it with like the Scooby-Doo animated movies. So we'll see. Tamina, she could do something. I don't know, maybe not. Primo and Epico could do something in the tag division if they keep the gimmick away. Jinder Mahal, oh god. I have a feeling he'll just going to job out for quite a while. Sami Zayn's got a good chance of being in the upper mid card on SmackDown, thankfully. And hopefully they push Kevin Owens to the main event picture. With Raw, the commentary team is abysmal. They need to do something about that.
Yeah. It's better. It's still bad. I'd say Byron is better than David, but that's like saying, Ric Flair's better than James Ellsworth.
Hawkins is not going to do anything on Raw. I mean, he'll probably be at JTTS. Mickey James should do
nothing on SmackDown.
All right. Mickey should do decent.
Shining Stars are doing nothing on SmackDown. Slater and Rhino are doing nothing on Raw.
Alexa is going to be the top heel on the women's roster, and
everyone else sort of makes sense if you think about it.
Apollo Crews is an interesting one. I hope he does something. I really do.
There's way more potential there with him, I'd say, than Jinder or Sin Cara.
We shall see. Let's move on to 205 Live.
Kendrick's out, recapping the feud with him and Tozawa. And Kendrick's taking on Mustafa Ali.
They gave this match almost 9.5 minutes, Ashley.
Yeah.
Good stuff. In the middle of the match, Drew Gulak is shown in a suit in the back on the cell phone, watching on. I'll give credit to the hide and seek line when Kendrick was going underneath the ring apron and trying to pull a fast one over on Mustafa Ali, and Ali caught him, but he got pulled into the ring apron. So Kendrick had a kind of a grounded Cobra clutch, like a camel clutch position, but a Cobra clutch instead. Ali escapes that, and he ends up hitting a lot of great offense. The rolling neck breaker through the ropes for a near fall. Kendrick Rob Petrie's a springboard into a 180 crossbody for a near fall. And a huge leg lariat. Kendrick goes for the burning hammer. Ali gets out of it. And Kendrick ends up breaking up the imploding 450 with a really weird looking inverted side headlock off the top, which just looked really out of place. He goes for the captain's hook, and he wins because the bell rings, but then Charles Robinson's like, I didn't ring the bell. Who rang the bell? Akira Tozawa rang the bell, of course. This leads to Ali with a high kick, and then the 450 for the win.
And then, of course, Tozawa. Lesson number 2. Appearances can be deceiving. Ha! Ha! Tremont! Ha!
Yeah, pretty much. So we lead to our next segment here. TJ Perkins is in the back with Dasha, I believe.
Saying, why did you attack Austin Aries?
Set up for failure, as always.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Neville was right about what's happened to me. You know, going from the top of the division to nowhere, and Aries getting all these opportunities. And then Gallagher comes in and says, apologize to barge in. But now I asked for this match, and I just hope that the stuff between us can be a lot more gentlemanly. And TJ says, oh, I don't. Aries wasn't the only one to benefit from my bad luck. And I'm like, what the fuck has Gallagher got to do with you? At all? Like, seriously? Doesn't make sense. So, now Rich Swan's making it. I'm like, okay, so who's he facing? Trying to think who's on the roster. And then it's Jobber. And then I see the face of the Jobber, and I'm going, that's not a Jobber. Well, technically it is, but to me, that's Shane Matthews.
Yep.
Except he isn't Shane Matthews.
He's Johnny Ocean.
He's officially Johnny fucking Ocean.
Which is funny because when
Johnny Ocean Man.
oh my god.
SpongeBob motherfuckers.
Which is funny because when 3.0 worked the revival on NXT last year, they were under their names of Jeff Parker and Matt Lee, which is their shoot names, of course, as well. And it's funny because Shane Matthews was wearing his red Brutus Beefcake style Zubaz, which is exactly the same gear that he has in this wonderful picture that I'm seeing on the 3.0 Wikipedia page.
Now let me go to Google. Search results. Past 24 hours. Johnny Ocean.
We can talk about the match real quick. Heat on Swan for a bit, but then Swan hits the M. Bison and the Rolling Thunder and finishes off Shane Matthews with the Phoenix Splash. Which is funny to me, Ashley, because in West Virginia, Shane Matthews has a completely different meaning than 3.0.
Yep.
Somebody I've worked several shows with in the past. But yeah, there's that. This leads, of course, to the pre-match, the post-match stuff going down. Rich Swann comes out. He's like, you know what? I've been the one that's been giving Alicia gifts. Here comes the return of Noam Dar.
Everybody wants to know why I gave her the gifts. No. Let's all be honest. I was the one that was sending Alicia the gifts. You're just lying. It's nothing to do with you. You're just trying to interfere in our relationship. And Alicia comes out and says, look, Rich, you're a liar. They're all from him. You're just trying to break us up. You're just liking what you seeing. And she's like standing there as if to go, look at my tits! Look at my tits! And then here comes fucking courier. Another one. Another package. And Dar's like, whoa. Nobody gets to handle the package apart from me because it's my gift to Alicia. So Swan, on you go. This is between me and her. Nothing to do with you. And it's like, here you go. The only one in the world for me, Alicia Fox. Is she Mr. Kennedy now? Wait for it. And she's like, what is it? And he, in his mind, he's going, shit, what the fuck is it? Oh, it's a surprise. And she takes the ribbon off and opens it. It's a flower bomb. Yeah. I guess that was the closest thing to making Alicia Fox white. Swan's dancing away and giggling. Dar's like, the best bit is the way he does this. He takes the box off her with his hands like stretched out as far as possible, as if to go, I don't want to be anything to do with this. And then just like swings around and like Stretch puts it down on the mat. And Alicia, fucking Swan is a happy panda. Dar is a sad panda. And Alicia is the WWF panda with the chair in her hand. She's pissed. So Dash is backstage of Aries and says, you know, what's your take on everything? I'm simplifying it to not make her look so shit. And he's like, you know, let's be honest. You know, if he's going to become friends with Neville, is that really going to change his fate? Because we know that Neville don't want to have TJ as a friend. He's just doing it for himself. He's manipulating people. And in 3 weeks' time, he can manipulate because I'll be the champ. Now, if you excuse me, I need to finish off my banana.
Of course.
And then for about 15 minutes, I'd say, 15 to 20-ish, we get Gallagher versus Perkins.
Yeah, 15:45 is what the official time I'm seeing is. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff here.
Yeah.
Storyline here, of course, was basically TJP working the leg the whole time. He got the Indian Deathlock, and he locked in the Cloverleaf Sharpshooter combo, which looked really good. Gallagher worked the knee, and he continuously worked the knee. He locked in a butterfly lock. Gallagher gets out of it, hits a European uppercut, and multiple. He basically looked like he was. Here's the cool part: he did a snap suplex into a backdrop suplex, got a near fall off of it. Perkins with a springboard forearm, and Gallagher hits, in all essence, a backdrop superplex. Because he pretty much did an avalanche backdrop driver the way that Perkins landed and folded.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent stuff here. Perkins goes for the knee bar, and of course he locks in the clutch. Gallagher gets the ropes. Perkins goes to the knee. Gallagher hits a swinging backbreaker for a near fall. Perkins again goes to the knee, but sets up the wrecking ball drop kick. He basically traps him in between the ring apron, which was great. And then he hit the red card for the near fall. And Perkins with rapid fire strikes, spinning heel kick, of course. He rocks back. Gallagher with the red card one more time. And he's setting up to win the match with a running drop kick in the corner, but of course he crumples because he cannot capitalize because his knees didn't work the entire match. And this leads to Perkins sending him headfirst into the ring post and hitting the detonation kick for the win. And then Neville Man shows up at the end of the match and raises Perkins' arm. Because apparently we're getting Neville and Perkins against Aries and Gallagher at Payback.
Next week.
I thought it was Payback the way they were talking.
Payback is the Cruiserweight title match.
Well, it should be.
No, it is. They've already established that.
But
also, worth noting at the start of the show, they said Mania was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem. I actually think that might be our show.
Yeah.
So I want to thank Pinhead Larry and Dr. Aiden Quinn for joining us tonight in chat. We will be returning to our regularly scheduled day for the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast later today, or tomorrow in this case. It's going to be at around 10 p.m. It'll probably be earlier than that if I can help it.
Holy shit.
We're going to be talking Ring of Honor. We're going to be talking New Japan Pro Wrestling, What Culture Pro Wrestling, Impact, and the other various indies, a little bit of UFC and MMA. So we're going to have some fun on our Wednesday show. And then our 3 days of wrestling will be complete, and then we'll move on to wrestling content back here next Monday night. The SmackDown and 205 live shows for Tuesday will probably just go back to the Wednesday unless it's something special. And that's a lot to cover on a Wednesday show, but that's the reason the Wednesday show exists. Programming note, of course, tomorrow being Thursday, actually Wednesday will be this show, and Thursday will be Sip and Snack returning. Friday will be returning AJ content, which will be Versus. Saturday is Gaming with Ash, and Sunday is going to be AJ's movie reviews. Probably Fate of the Furious, if I had to guess, honestly. We got a lot of stuff coming up very soon on AJ's movie reviews, so stay tuned for those. Back to wrestling content on Monday and Wednesday. So a lot of good stuff coming here on the network. So, Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at AshIsMyNameUK, and Gaming with Ash will be coming at the weekend.
All right. Follow all the usual suspects, good friends of the network. Follow them on Twitter, and their YouTube channels are in the description bar. People like Acer 5000 on YouTube, and Acer 1337. Yes, in a row for all the podcasts you should be listening to, wrestling and or otherwise. Logan Burton 10 on Twitter, and also Pedro at Evil Takes Root. And a big shout out to my roommate and a contributor to this network that will be returning in the very near future, and that is Great Traveling Scott. So that's GR8 Trav TRAVLN Scott. So follow me on Twitter at Sir Owen Disney. Follow the network on Twitter at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page, our Zazzle merch, and our Patreon, all at Popcast Network. So in the meantime, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more this evening you've chosen a Popcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Finally, it's probably over. And then they'll come up with some excuse for next week as well.